So today we are going to explain the concept of exponential growth and decay. We are also going to explain the basic graph of an exponential function. We are going to research the Chernobyl nuclear disaster as well as two other different examples of an exponential growth and decay. And to conclude, we're going to answer some questions regarding the topic of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster.
So this is the exponential function basic graph. So here is the asymptote. The asymptote is at y equals 0, and the graph never touches the asymptote. The reference point is 0, 1, and the domain is all real numbers because it never touches the asymptote, and it goes up infinitely. Then the range is 0, infinite because it goes up and never goes down.
Exponential functions can be used in several cases in real life. An example may be investment accounts. When you invest in an account, this means that the certain amount you invested, it will be compounded one time by the bank plus the annual interest rate that the bank gives you. And the time can be replaced either annually or quarterly. For example, if you invest $2,000, then it will be replaced as the original amount of money you spent. So it will be then 1, because of the time the money will be compounded, and plus the rate depending on the bank. Here in this example I'm going to use 0.9 and times the time or the years the money will be compounded. In this example I will be using 10 years. This means that if you had $2,000 at the beginning, then after 10 years you will have that means that after 10 years you will have $2,199.
Okay, so this is the exponential decay, and the formula we have to use is y equals a1 minus b to the x. Y means the final amount. A means the original. X is time. The decay factor is 1 minus b. And the variable b is the percent decrease in the smaller one.
The Chernobyl nuclear disaster. The Chernobyl nuclear disaster was an event that happened in April 25, 1986 in Chernobyl, Ukraine during the time of the Soviet Union. Well, what happened basically was that the Chernobyl 4 reactor was managed inadequately by untrained personnel, and it exploded because of a flaw in the design. And what happened was that the radiation spread throughout the whole city, and in the night of the explosion, 2 people were killed. One was immediately, and the other one died of injuries in the hospital. And also later, like in 3 months, 30 people died, and also later, more and more people started to die. Well, and 4 environmental consequences of this explosion was that children of ages 0 to 14 were affected greatly by this and started to get thyroid cancer. And like 1,800 cases of this were reported after the explosion, which is more than the normal amount of cases. And then it also affected plants and animals, and a lot of pine trees started to die, and also fish were banned from being eaten because of the radiation. And also pregnant women were started to receive like abnormal abortions out of nowhere, and a lot of Down syndrome kids were reported that year. And also, after the explosion, all of the city had to be evacuated, and a lot of people started to relocate. And Then, like right now in 2011, it was reported that Chernobyl was now a tourist attraction.
After doing this project, our team came to several conclusions, either regarding the topic of the Chernobyl incident as well as exponential functions of growth and decay. As my other team members explained earlier in the video, exponential growth means the increase of number or size at a constantly growing rate. This concept can be used either in economy, investment accounts, to represent population, among other examples. As for exponential decay, it means that it's the reduction of a certain amount by a percent over a period of time. Regarding the Chernobyl incident, we do think that the use of nuclear energy can be very beneficial to the population, however, with the right preventions and precautions, so an accident like the Chernobyl incident won't happen again. This nuclear disaster brought many consequences at a global scale. Some of them were that plants and animals were affected. Actually, fishes were banned from eating because of the radiation they were exposed to. Many pregnant women suffered from sudden abortions because of the radiation, and also it affected children from countries near the explosion and made them develop thyroid cancer. That is the reason why we must prevent at all costs any further nuclear disasters or the use of nuclear weapons, since not only the living things will be affected, but also our environment. Working on this project was a very interesting and difficult experience. It was very different from every other project we ever made,